We're back again on the Before Passing Go podcast with myself, Michael Malfa. And today we're joined by Serena Raza, who is a commercial client manager at Boardwalk Insurance. Welcome, Serena.
Thank you, Michael. It's nice to be here.
You are just made for camera, so we really wanted to get you on here.
Oh my goodness.
And Serena plays a pivotal role at Boardwalk, managing the client relations of some of our key commercial clients.
That's right. So there's a lot of that going on and a lot of account management, and I'm just happy to be here and happy to grow with Boardwalk.
Awesome. Well, today, Serena, we're going to talk a little bit about your journey into insurance, because when you started with Boardwalk, you weren't coming from the insurance sector.
No, I did not. Yeah.
So what kind of inspired you to get into insurance? First off, let's go back. What did you study in school?
Okay, so I studied accounting, definitely not insurance, and I started a job hunt after I got my diploma in accounting. And that is kind of where my career journey started. So it was COVID when I started to job hunt, and I think it took me about 8 months before I landed this job here at Boardwalk. And honestly, the first half of that was just, I was very focused on trying to find something in accounting. So a bookkeeper or something just lower level, entry level, and there was no bait. There was absolutely no bait. I was doing cold calls, cold emails. I was going door to door, even in COVID. I used so many different websites, and it was very frustrating. And that's when I kind of broadened my horizons. And I applied anywhere and everywhere. I was fresh out of school. I just wanted to get work experience. And that is when I went to a job fair at Seneca College and gave my resume out to everyone. I took a chance and I was like, you know what? If anyone reaches out to me or if I follow up and they have any available positions, I am ready to put myself out there and just get work experience. And my manager, Fagner, reached out to me back then, about 2 years ago now. And I guess it's history from there.
Awesome.
I've been here since.
So insurance definitely wasn't your first choice, as this is a common theme in our industry. However, you had the opportunity come up, and you're still here today, 2 years later. What's that been like? What's it been like transitioning into insurance, and what were some of your preconceptions coming into this industry?
Yeah. So I feel like when everyone thinks about insurance, they might think that it's a bit boring or a little bit maybe not as dynamic as other industries. Now, coming into insurance, I feel like since I spent so much time job hunting, I was already very tired of not having a job, essentially, and I was very happy that I had an opportunity. So I kind of came into it with no expectations. I didn't think insurance would be super bad or super good either. I kind of kept the mindset of, let me just go there, see how it goes, and just go with the flow. So when I got here to Boardwalk, it was very pleasant. Everyone was so nice, and I think that since everyone was so friendly and so warm and welcoming, it made a very big difference in transitioning into insurance. I didn't have any negative thoughts, coming in here. So obviously, there are challenges in the insurance industry for sure, but I think the fact that since everyone was so friendly, it just made it so much more easier to get started in the industry. Yeah.
Nice. And you started as a client service associate, unlicensed, so doing a lot of technical back-end processing sort of stuff. And you progressed from that role to a front-facing role in a commercial client manager, also Rebo licensed. Is that correct? So you got your Rebo license while you were here, and now you're dealing with clients directly. What's that been like?
Yeah, so in the beginning, there was a lot of back and forth between myself and my manager just because I wasn't licensed. I had to make sure that everything I was saying was accurate. That's very important here in insurance. If you don't know something, you can't say it, right? You need to check and fact check everything.
Heavily compliant industry.
Yeah, exactly. So I was relying on my team a lot. There was a lot of collaboration. But as I continued on and got the hang of things, it became a lot easier, and I learned and understood insurance a lot more. And after I got my license, that was another sort of learning curve, and it was fairly easy since I had already been in the industry for quite some time. So getting my license was no issue for me at all. But even after that, it was smooth sailing. It wasn't too bad. I don't have any major complaints or anything like that.
Okay. And what would you say to some of your peers that are maybe a few years younger than you, that are just, they're still in school or they're just graduating and now they're figuring out, okay, I studied business or I studied accounting or even, a Bachelor of Arts, whatever it may be, should they broaden their horizons as well? And what would you tell them if they asked you specifically, Serena, how has your experience been in the insurance industry, particularly on the brokering side?
I see. Okay. I would, for the first part of this, I would definitely say broaden your horizon. You never know what kind of an opportunity is out there, even if you branch outside of your degree or what you studied, right? Like there's so many things you can do with your degree that are outside of your industry as well. It doesn't have to be specific to that all the time. And for the second part, I would say, okay, so for the broker side of things, it's a fun ride. It's definitely a fun ride. If you don't have any experience in insurance at all, you will learn a lot. So if you are looking to learn something new and maybe start something fresh, I think this would be a perfect new page in your book. I'd say that to someone younger than me or maybe starting a new career. I think it would be a great starting point to learn something new. I definitely don't think it's too complicated to pick up fast. It does take some time to know kind of the intricacies of insurance and maybe some more of the complexities of it, right? But I do think people wouldn't have trouble picking it up from the get-go. And the broker side is a lot of fun because you're kind of the middleman. So you're talking to the clients, but you're also talking to the insurance companies, and you kind of see both sides as well. And it's a bit difficult sometimes because I empathize with the client, but I also can empathize with the insurance companies. But at the end of the day, I am here for the client, and I will always vouch for them first. But it is interesting to see both sides and see how both sides work and the needs that both sides have. So I thought that was very fun to see at my time here as well.
That's a great point, actually, because as a broker, you really get perspective that you wouldn't get if you were on the carrier side, the insurance company side. You don't really get to have any interaction with the client. You're just dealing with the broker. Exactly. But as a broker, I'm glad you brought up that point. You get perspective because you really get to understand, from seeing things from the client lens, which is the end user of the product, and seeing things from the supplier end, which is the insurance company. So it's pretty cool. It gives you a different skill set than you would get anywhere else. And you're constantly learning new things. Like I've been in this industry for 20 years and I'm still learning on a daily basis, I would say. Every day I'm still learning something new because there's always a unique situation or scenario or coverage or industry type that's coming across our desk, and we have to figure it out. And you've done a great job at problem solving on the fly and being resourceful to find answers when needed.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think that's a really big point as well, being resourceful. I think people might glaze over how resourceful brokers just are. I would also say to someone, if they're very quick on their feet and they're able to kind of come up with solutions very fast, I think they would excel as a broker. 100%. If they are quick to come up with solutions, oh man, some of the fires I've seen working here, we, all of us together, have needed to have that quick thinking, be quick on our feet to resolve issues, whether it's with claims or maybe a gap in coverage, or maybe something was missed from the client side or sometimes even the insurer side. We're all human, things happen, and if you find yourself to be resourceful, I think this would be one of the perfect careers for you.
So you've pointed out a few areas where, a few traits and characteristics that would benefit an individual in this profession. And one of them is resourcefulness. The other one you mentioned was attention to detail.
Oh, for sure.
I think that's so important because you're dealing with, policy wordings and really policy wordings, warranties, conditions, endorsements, exclusions. Like a slight variance in a technical wording term can make a huge impact on the coverage. So attention to detail, resourcefulness. What else is really, driven your success and would be a foundational skill in insurance brokering? What do you think? We have resourcefulness.
I would say if you do work more on the admin side of things, and if you're dealing with a lot of paperwork, time management definitely would play into it, because on the insurance side, we can get bucket loads of paperwork, and obviously that all needs processing, and it could be very easy to get bogged down by that. So I would say maybe like time management and organization kind of intertwine together. If you're good on either or, I think they kind of complement each other as well, right? So I think that would definitely be helpful. And if you notice that time management or organization is lacking, and if you're dealing with a lot of paperwork, it'll start to show.
That's a great point. I'm so glad you brought that one up. I think that's one area Boardwalk is trying to give back to its brokers, is on basically managing the back office functions of the role. There's a lot of back office functions, as Serena mentioned. You're dealing with processing, paperwork, documentation, filing. So we're really trying to streamline that process, and we've already done a lot of that to centralize that to our centralized system that we use, Harbor. But we're at a point where, okay, so we have this central database of where all this processing is happening and documentation is happening. How can we enhance it? And this is where we're starting to bring in AI and automation to really drive efficiency. So Serena could spend more time focusing on the client's needs and their relationship building and giving them that peace of mind rather than back-end processing. So we've started that process, but you're going to continue to see that evolve this year.
Yeah, and I've already been seeing it evolve over the past 2 years that I've been at Boardwalk. Our systems have gone through major changes, and I think it's wonderful. And as someone who kind of started off as a little bit more entry level and worked my way up a little bit into like management, I am so happy to see the progression, because being a first-hand user of that system, I can definitely see that it's made big changes.
Amazing, amazing. Stefano's been sitting here so patiently, waiting to ask some questions. So we're going to give him an opportunity to fire away now that we have Serena here.
I don't know about patient, but I have some really good ones. I just got two main ones for you, actually. Number one, a little bird told me that on the interview process, your Zoom just crapped out. Now, please, let the audience know how all that transpired and why this actually was a good thing for you.
That is so funny to even think about. Yeah, so that did happen. So my initial interview with Boardwalk and with my manager was over Zoom. Now, I thought my Wi-Fi was stable at home. I mean, it's usually stable enough to watch YouTube without interruptions. So I connected to my Wi-Fi. No one else was at home, so no interruptions. And we started off the interview with my manager and with Andrew. And I think about a couple minutes in, it just starts lagging. Zoom starts lagging. So I hear it lagging and I see it lagging. And I asked my manager, "Are you able to hear me?" And I didn't hear anything for about 10 seconds. And like 10 seconds later, I hear him say, "I don't think she can hear us." And he's talking to Andrew. And I got flushed. My entire face was red. I could feel my heart beating. I was sweating. I said, this is my first interview in so long. You know, as I said before, 8 months and no bait for a job. So I was very, very nervous. Anyways, we had to cut the interview short. I tried to answer their questions as best as I could. I wasn't really working out. I think we were just on the Zoom call for a couple minutes after that. And my manager said we would reschedule. And that is actually what pushed them to schedule an in-person interview with me, which they didn't do with all of their candidates. And I think that's where they
and then the rest is history.
Yeah, the
because
rest is
then
history.
Here, Serena's, and how long have you been working here now?
A little over 2 years now.
Okay, so Serena's a very important and vital part of this team.
Yep.
Without a doubt. Now, having said that, I do have one more question, and that is, since you're younger and you're in the insurance world, when it comes to the younger generation, understanding the insurance world, do you feel like this is your superpower? Because now you can actually shed some light on the misconceptions that are surrounding the insurance world when it comes to young people?
100%. I totally agree with that. I think if I never got into insurance, I obviously wouldn't know what I'm talking about. But being in the industry for over 2 years, I've learned so much, and I've learned about the importance of insurance. Obviously, it is a really important thing, covering your assets, making sure that you're protected. Insurance is there in the case you need it. It's there in the case you lose something that's valuable to you and you can't replace it on your own. That's why you cover it. And especially with vehicle insurance, there's a lot of complaints I hear, and I'm there too. I'm underage too. I can't. Insurance for me is it's a pretty price tag.
But you understand it.
We're consumers too. At the end of the day, we're all consumers.
Yeah.
But it's different because you're actually inside it, so you understand it.
I understand it.
Where you don't
Yeah.
just go to rage and saying, "Well, why the hell is it so high?" Because you understand what's happening with
Exactly.
So Serena, where can our audience connect with you? Where and how?
Yeah, so people can find me by email, or they can give me a call if they have any questions. My email is serena@myboardwalk, and my phone number is 905-800-2773.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Serena. As always, you can find Boardwalk Insurance on the web at myboardwalk.ca, on our socials, which again is at myboardwalk. And if you want to hear more about our podcast, you can catch us on YouTube and Spotify, the Before Passing Go podcast. Thank you.
Until next time, see you later.